No, the Psychiatric Association of Ghana says its preliminary assessment of victims of the explosion at APEATSE in the western region has revealed some of them are contemplating suicide. It says some children now reportedly scream at night and others have gone mute after the explosion. The PAG was at the shelter at Bogoso to provide psychological assistance to the affected residents and says these symptoms are consistent with a diagnosis of acute stress reaction, which is not managed appropriately. If not managed appropriately, can lead to more severe forms of anxiety disorders, including post-traumatic stress disorder. The association is calling on Ghanaians to put resources together to avert what it describes as a potential mental health catastrophe at APEATSE. And joining me via Zoom is the president, Dr. Ruth Owusu-Entwi. I'm grateful for your time, Doc. Can you help us with the details of what you found during your assessment? Kindly unmute for me, Doc.
Thank you very much and a very good afternoon to you and your listeners. Yes, you're right. When emergencies like this or disasters like this happen, we are worried about the mental health implications. Unfortunately, that is probably the last thing everybody thinks about. And so as an association, we took it upon ourselves to get to the ground, do an initial assessment, and possibly administer some interventions to those who were severely affected. When we got to the sites, we realized that just at the camp or at the shelter, at the parish, there were close to 900 people, and there was no way we were going to be able to attend to each one of them. And so we put them into groups and did some education on mental health issues and symptoms they should expect. And thereafter, we told them that if you were going through any of these, let us see you one-on-one. And that is when we came into contact with some few people who were going through very worrying symptoms. And notable amongst them were people who were contemplating suicide. We talked to one woman who said that she was actually the one that went into their home and brought the husband's phone to go and video the incident, and the husband never came back. She thinks that life is not worth living. She feels guilty. She feels that she should have stopped the husband, and there are all of these things going through her head, and she feels that life is not worth living. She has contemplated suicide even at the camp. There were some children, which is also very worrying, who are going through some serious anxiety symptoms. They are constantly screaming at night. One mother told me that the child since Thursday has not spoken. This is a child that was shown videos of gory sceneries, people dying, the fires, the flames going up and all that. And so people are going through challenges. And like we have said, if we are able to put in intervention at this early stage, we will be able to avert an otherwise severe mental disorders or severe anxiety disorders in the near future.
So what's the plan to actually help, these victims to come back to normal?
So we have come back to our drawing table. We have realized that the Psychiatric Association of Ghana cannot do this alone. We need human resource as well as monetary support. Our first visit was done on our own. We took medications from our own coffers. We got to travel our hotel, couldn't attend to all the 900 people. And so we have come back. We are liaising with Mental Health Authority. We are liaising with the Psychiatric Nurses Association, as well as Mental Health Authority, and then the Psychiatric and the Psychological Council, and work together and really sit the town so that at least almost everybody will get a one-on-one assessment and one-on-one intervention, because that is what the people need. Everybody there overlook it. We can't continue to do just relocating them. We said in our press release that yes, they could be recent. So,
all right, there seems to be a connection problem with Dr. Entry. We'll try and get her back on, and so she can make that point. She's actually talking about victims of the APEATSE explosion, who some of them who are contemplating suicide, and she described one of them who said the husband went and never came back, and she feels it's her responsibility to have stopped the husband from going, but she didn't do that, so she's feeling bad. Is Dr. Ruth Entry back? Yes, Dr. Entry, if you're back, let's hear you.
Yes, so can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
All right, great. So I was saying initially that after our initial assessment, we realized that this of this job. So we have come back to the drawing table. We have decided that we would involve our sister organizations. We are liaising with the Mental Health Authority, the Psychiatric Nurses Association, as well as the Ghana Psychologists Association to put our weight together and go back there and be able to administer one-on-one intervention to the people. Looking at the extent of the devastation, we think that everybody in APEATSE should get some form of mental health assessment and intervention. Other than that, they will be resettled. APEATSE community will come back together. Work will start, but without these mental health support and intervention, we will have a community with a lot of mental health challenges, a community that may not be productive because they will not have sound mind.
Specifically, what's the role of government in this?
We are hoping that government will support us with logistics. We have to travel from various places and go to the community. We need money to do that. We have to send medications in some cases. These are specialized psychiatric medications. They are not over the counter. Some of them are not even available in the community, and we have to carry them from Kumasi and Accra to the place. And we need money to purchase them. And all of these will be grateful if we get the government supporting us. Then again, we are lodging at various places. These are not guest houses or hotels that do not charge or that accommodate people for free. And so if support is coming that way, of course, when the team gets there, they will be feeding, they need the strength to do that. All of these involve money. And so we will need monetary support from the government to support us to be able to render this kind of intervention to the fullest.
I'm grateful for your time. Dr. Ruth Entry is the president of the Ghana Psychiatric Association, and she's calling on government and all stakeholders to be part of this to avert what she describes as a permanent disorder with victims of the APEATSE explosion.